Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for Thursday, September the 30th. And all of this pattern here is very similar to what's happening in other parts of the world as well. We know it's a wave 4. We know that it's not finished. We know that it's complicated and tricky to trade. So it's a time in the market that you need to really stand aside, or for very short-term, intraday traders, it doesn't matter, trend traders or short-term trend traders trying to catch 50, 100 points, then I really suggest that you use, half position sizes to get through all of this, because I can only understand certain parts of this pattern in terms of the intraday bias with this, because for instance, here I was looking at all of this as an ABC pattern here to get some sort of equality to the B wave, some sort of, size that would be sort of reflecting wave A. Well, then we'd have an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here for wave B. But there's a good case that wave B can be sitting on top here for this. And then we come down further at this point. We use this as wave 1 here. We come back to wave 2 here. Thursday, in our bullish weekly cycle, Thursday is normally the bearish day. So in a bear market, would that make Thursday the bullish day? Yeah, I don't see why not. So, we could have a 5-wave structure coming down through here as well as wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5. So, yeah, we should be able to catch some of this here. This B wave here makes also Commonwealth Bank can have this as a B wave up there as well, which is something we just have a quick look at, and we'll come back to those banks in a moment. But with wave 3 up here, an A wave here, an A, B, and C for the B wave here, and then coming down for here. We could also look at it bullish as well. So we need to understand at what point are we going to be bullish or bearish within that space. So a little bit of time for that just to come, but yeah, just sort of matching those up a little bit, you know what I mean? Because obviously this is governed more so by the banks to a point, and it's always a messy index to a degree, because you've got resources pulling the market one way and finance pulling it the other way, and when those two are in the same direction, does happen now and again, then you'll see this index really move along swiftly. So look, this is a bit of a maelstrom in here, storm in a teacup, so let's just be a little bit careful, but let's go in and check it out. So I think this is probably the right count, okay? And the reason I think that for is because this move here that we looked at yesterday on the cash market is in 3 waves. It's an ABC pattern. Now, in this case, anyway, that's what it is. It's corrective. So, but we could still use it as an A wave to the upside. But what we're seeing here is we're seeing this move down through here. It really appears to be 5 waves. So if that's the case, then we should just see an ABC rally. So that would be the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave coming here to the 50-60%. So we don't need this box. Let's dump that. We don't need that. What's that other line in there for? We don't need that. So in fact, we don't need these guys here. Let's just get that and that. Okay, so that's be more important. So this being the A wave here, the B wave, and the C wave to that B wave. That's where the market can collapse. Basically just testing previous, support, that retest there, and that will be in 3 waves to that point, and then down. So in a nutshell, we could short through there, we can short through there, we could probably get a better situation than that as well, but let's just go in and take a closer look. This will probably be a different count on the 1 hour chart. It's slightly different, yeah. So yesterday we're looking at it as a B wave, because we could have this as an A wave, but it doesn't really sort of suit there. So I think that I think that we need to get rid of that there. I think we need to get rid of bit of a catch-22. Let's just, that'll be handy. I'll just use those again, so I'll just keep those and there. And there's different ways to count this to the upside here. I'm not even going to worry about it too much. We looked at it, we had a good look at it yesterday on the cash market and figured it out, so we don't need that. We've got some ABC, so we don't need that. I'm just going to put that here, and this will either be wave 1 to the downside or an A wave. So, and this we can look as the, just making an assumption there might be a bit more to that B wave and then the C wave to there to make the B wave or wave 2. So we'll just keep both of those there for a moment. So so traders today can, intraday traders can look at being long. So perhaps in being long, this is 200 here. So group 1 would be what? 10, 20 and 30. So it would be 7,230. So if you get a classic trading levels pattern on that 30, then that will take you to the 50. And then at the 50, it will take you up to the 80 and you're getting close at that point. So you just got to watch out that this B wave doesn't get a bit more complicated, before pushing up. Or will it just push straight up? So the 30 as a tested support, top of group 1, will be helpful in that. So if we looked at that as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave, that means that we can look to short, but we'll just have to do it in such a way that we short the bottom of the B wave. Let's just go to the tick chart and check on that a bit more. Well, there's the 30, so I think, yeah, so minor level 200, then 10, 20 and 30. So that's we can look at that as the first high above the level, second high above the level. Does this count as 5 waves from the low? Looks sort of okay. There's a bit of dodginess in there, but so that counts nicely as wave 1 and 2 here. That can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2. Third wave's a bit short. Fourth wave, fifth wave's okay. So that's the third. All of that's the third wave. That's the fourth wave. This doesn't really finish very nicely as a fifth wave. I mean, even that's just got sort of 1, 2, 3 in it, and then here and here. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a little bit different in some way. But I don't know. If I was trading it, then I'd be looking to go long above that high there, or a classic trading levels pattern. And that will take you to the, as I mentioned before, that will take you to the next level, which is the 50. And then you've got 65, 72 in there, and 80. 72 can go to the next 72. Bit of a mistake there, but it's okay there too. We want 272, and that's going to carry a bit of weight there as well. I'm just going to put that in orange for me. So that would be the number that I would trade to. But we know that the 50-60% retracement level is up here for this. The question is, we can look at this as the A wave here, the B wave. Is that big enough? Is that done and dusted? Or do we need, this is a bit weird in this point here, do we need to put that over there? And we don't, and look at this as a, no. I think we have to suck that up there and just say that's that. And then we'll look for further upside there. So tomorrow, Friday, we'll look for shorts, or even Thursday afternoon. Yeah. So let's just say for a moment that pushes up, right? Then that must be the bottom of the B wave. So that means we can short there, but we don't want to short it now. Do you know what I mean? It'll be like over here somewhere. So that will be one step. We'll try and get a bit closer up there. Okay, well that's what I'm thinking. Okay, let's have a look at the banks. So the CommBank here, you know that I've been confused about this, and I've never really been happy with this being an impulse wave. I could kind of see it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you know, as an Elliott Wave person, a professional person, we just wouldn't sort of take that up, you know. So realistically, it's probably the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave coming down in all of this. So we can probably reverse those here and look for 5 waves to the downside in all of this. I'm happy to go long, but we have to go long above the top here, basically, because that's the 61.8%, and that's what we're always going to do. If we got a classic trading levels pattern on 105, we'd be going long. So on the tick chart here, we can still go long. We haven't wiped it out just yet, and we've had this up here. I'm going to change that B there to this B. That one, and we could change, whoops a daisy, change that to a C for what it's worth. That would have to be there. So we could treat it as wave 1, and we were looking for an ABC pattern. It hasn't finished off at the top here very nicely. I've got that as a top, but the reality is we probably need that one as a top. But then I don't get 5 waves. I need this truncated 5th wave to get the 5-wave structure from here to here, so even though it's not the high, so that's a bit of a problem. Start counting, and then I can see that's a wave 4 here, so we've probably got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the A wave here, the B wave and the C wave, but this could be 1 and 2 here and the 3, 4, 5 here, or this could even be the 4th and we drop down a bit further here before going up. I just don't know, but we don't go long. I normally go long above the B wave, but I don't have a nice clear A, B, C to that point, you know what I mean? We don't have that nice clarity there for that. So we don't have it, so we don't have it. So that means that we need something else to get our teeth into, and we'd need the market to push up. Now, I know that the market will probably push up today, but that could just come back up 50 or 60% and then be on the downside from that point, you know what I mean? So if we put that there, then we'll be also looking to be going short. So we're either going to go short or go long, so just be open and be flexible. I wouldn't go long until we got support on the 105 here again, and I think what could happen is this, and that's what we need to be mindful of, and that means that we would need to look at being sort of, I don't know, if we can get some sort of ABC correction and a wave C there for that. If we can get something like that tomorrow, then that would today, then that would, and tonight, then that would be sort of helpful, because we can short the low of the B. I just don't know if the wave B's here or we're going to see it up here somewhere, but we need to be short somewhere over this side for it. So that's what we'll look for. ANZ would just be a bit of a trap, so we can't really do anything there. If that is the top in here, and this is the A wave, then this is an A and a B and a C for the B wave, and then down for the C wave. So can't really get involved in in the rally here for this, unfortunately. Not for what I can see in the general markets. We'll just get sort of trapped. So I'll leave that where it is, and we'll have a quick look at China. So we've just been thinking about have the low being. This is more for the A50s, really, about all the stocks that have been hammered. The Tencents, the Alibaba, and so on. So this is what they look like, as the Shenzhen is moving to the upside. But we're just wondering if there is a low in here for this, and it'll be interesting because if this is. We don't know if this is going to be an A wave, a B wave, and a little C wave in here and collapse. Or if we get those 3 waves there, after we get 5 waves here, then going long above the top here. Well, it's not so much going long above the top here. What this will represent, it will represent the Alibabas of the world moving up, Jack has spent his month in jail, and he's paid his $15.5 billion to the CCP fund. They've wiped off $400 billion from his share market, the same as Tencent and so on. So maybe the whipping's over for a point, so to speak. Anyway, let's cruise along a little bit. And how's India doing? Okay, so like I said, with India, we're not that fussed about it at this point because we're at 18. We know 18 is a profit-taking number. There's definitely, and the markets are correcting around the world. Is this top in place here? I don't know. Do we get another top? I don't know. I'm not interested in trading against the trend on the short side because I need to see a nice impulse wave down first for that. If we get support up here, we'll go long. India doesn't have to do the same as the rest of the world. Long as the rest of the world is holding reasonably steady, it can be edging down. But the psychology here is 8 is a profit-taking number, and we're seeing it, and it's as simple as that. Will it push up? I don't know. It's the normal process. If it's, the market's got to prove to us, we don't have to prove anything, but the market's got to prove to us that it's strong, and it needs this trend needs to be corrected at some point. What size, I don't know, but we'll just see, wait for our classic trading level set up there, and if we get it, we go for it. If not, we don't. Okay, so commodities. We normally start with iron ore, so we'll do iron ore. And, we've been looking at this as a possible low in place for iron ore here. And, all this volume here kind of makes you think that there's some sort of stockpile, rebuilding at this point. I've been, trying to look for an impulse wave off the low here for this, but, coming back to the tick chart here, it's just really not presenting as such. But it's not over yet in that regard, because we can count 5 waves up here. And then we've got a correction. We can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I mean, is that an A, B, C for the A wave here? Or is that wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then we're going up here? I can see that this needs to push up further here, because we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1 and 2. That would be the conservative count, and then all of this, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. We can do that kind of stuff. Would that be it? Would that be the A wave here, and the A wave here, B wave here, and a C wave here, and that's the end of it? So perhaps we'll just look at this I could look at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 building to the upside, and that would work too. But if we just be conservative and say, okay, well, let's look at this 5 waves completing here first. And we'll get the 3, 4, 5, and anything above that we'll start to consider, because that will take us into quite close up here for that. So let's just go back and see what that actually looks like on the daily chart. Daily. I'm expecting, the stocks to, iron ore stocks to push up from here. As well, a little bit more of a low to go. I keep saying that it's just not finishing properly. So yeah, what else can we get out of this here? Would we be wrong? Well, if we went to this high and this low, yeah, see that 5 waves will take us to that 61.8%. And the thing about that is that it doesn't really give us an impulse wave to that 61.8%. It gives us a 3-wave structure to that point. So I'm still not going to know. I mean, with BHP and so on, we're looking for just a little bit more of a low and then pushing up. The same with most of the other ones as well, with Rio and FMG and so on and so on. But look, that could be a low in there. I'm just saying that I'm not seeing an impulse. I'm not seeing what I need to see there at the moment. It's possibly maybe, but it's just not. I mean, it can be corrective or it can be impulsive, put it that way. I can't say that's 5 waves, that's impulsive, that's the low, let's go. There's still doubt there because it's in this can be counted as corrective within this space, but anyway, we'll see. Gold, so gold might have a low in now, but I need to get 5 waves up to prove it, you know, because from here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we're looking for, and you know, I like that number a lot. So we need to get evidence now for this. One of the things that we could look for, because normally once it's you know, it came down and hit the 30, so it's like the arrival, the reaction, and the first low below the level. So we need to now, it may come back up above here, but we need to find out if this level is going to be, you know, become the resistance, or is it going to become the support, because that's at the point that we can move up from that point there. And this, I'm just explaining this for Helen, really, so to undo those hedges, Helen, you know. So if we can get that 1730 as a tested support, then you could release some of them, and then once we can see that moving up, we can release the others. So we need to be a little bit careful, because the market has penetrated into 10, 20 and 30, which is what we call group 1. And if the number 2 here becomes the resistance, then we're going to be pulled down to 17 at that point. And then, I mean, it's okay to count this as 5 waves. It's a little bit rough and ready, but it could also be counted, you know, I mean, it could just continue to expand to the downside. So we have to be careful about calling that low in there. So let's just go to the tick chart just for a moment and have a look at this in a little bit more detail. So we'd been counting it down, and I've got my 5 waves, a little bit rough and ready in some places, and some of the count doesn't sort of fit very well, but I think I've done sort of okay-ish at this point with it. So this is the 1730. So what we need to see here is it's going to be all about this number becoming the support or the resistance. So yeah, even if it trades above, we just need to see what it produces. Even if it trades above the 1730, it doesn't mean it's support. So we need to see something solid, you know, that's old high over here, and then coming back here in 3 waves here, and then taking that one out here and moving up at that point. We just got to be careful we don't go to here and then it comes back down and we get trapped as such. So just got to be a little bit careful about that. But let's see if we get support here, then we can move up from that. Okay, I'm just going to clear a few things up here. I don't need all of those. That should just give us enough. Don't need that. Okay, so moving on, and we can move on to crude. We've been looking at crude. There's a possible top in crude, but I have to say it's not the top because double tops are never the end of the trend. Okay, so calling that the top in for the B wave here is probably a bit immature as such, but it could sell off from this point. We are seeing 5 waves down, so if we go to the tick chart here like we did yesterday, where are we here? That's right. So this is just 100 ticks, and this is where we were yesterday. We were looking at, I think we're obviously down, obviously there somewhere, and we were looking for a bit of a rally there. It was okay for traders to trade long a bit, I guess, there, whatever. So we were looking for that rally, which appears to be a bit dodgy on the old 5 wave, so I'd have to probably take it from there with some sort of triangle pattern or something, but it doesn't really matter. But roughly that's there, that's there. It does appear that we're getting an impulse wave. So the thing that sort of bothers me a little bit here is that, yeah, we can use that as a 5 wave thing. So what might happen is we just get an ABC pattern here, and then that's the end of it at that point. You know what I mean? And then we go up from that point. We could go further down. So in a way, if you're shorting this, then yeah, that's you're definitely going to get a bounce off the 73. Does it go all the way up there at that point, or does it go sort of back to the 50-60% and then move down again? I don't know. But the other interesting thing though is that once we've got those 5 waves coming down for the C wave here, then anything under that would be the short, would be the safest short. So if I was short, I would come down into group 1 here and get out, unless it came down really fast. You know what I mean? If it dropped and fell out of bed sharper than the A wave, then I'd stay in. But if it's on more of an angle than this one, than the A wave, then it's likely to be a C wave and going up from that point. And this is, in here, is probably the first 5 waves down as well within this space. So that means that obviously that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 1 and 2 there, and that would be 1 and 2, 1 and 2, probably 3 to there. Where are we? 1, 2. That's the third. Would we count that as the 4th or that? I think there could be one more low. Just be careful about this, and then there'll be the retest here, and then that would be the short over here for that. So that's 1 and 2 here, and 3, 4 and 5, something like that. That could actually be the low there, but I'm looking at this being an A and a B and a C here for that, and then down for that point. So yeah, a move back into here, then down to that point, and then up. Okay, let's cruise along a little bit, and copper is next on the menu. So the thing with copper here, as you may know, is that, well, we've got this long wave A here. This little A wave here is in 3 waves. This B wave is in 3 waves, as they are. And we could get 5 waves up here, or we could get 3 waves up here because we could be forming some sort of little triangle pattern within all of this as well here. So yeah, so let's just go to the hourly chart and look at it. So we're seeing pressure on the US dollar. So this can come down to this little area in here that would, so we could be in this, what I was sort of thinking from this A wave here, an ABC for the A wave, and then an ABC for the B wave, an ABC for the C wave, and then the D wave, and then the E wave here for the B wave, and then down. That's what I'm kind of thinking, because, you know, we're not really getting that nice, we're getting in the impulse wave here, but then we just got all this mess here. So the US dollar's going up, so, you know, a bit of pressure there. So we'll just see this bobbing along the medium level here for a while. So nothing sort of spectacular in that space. And so just we have to have a look at the gas market just for a moment. I'll need to tune into it over the days ahead, but there seems to be a bit of interest in it because it's popping its head up. So this is the monthly NYMEX continuous futures thingy bobby. So this is monthly here, so we can see that it's got a bit of a habit. It's probably a little, you can count these sorts of markets, but I never really sort of bother about them too much because there's only parts of them that you can really sort of understand, you know, because of because of the spiking nature in it, you know, this spike here would probably be, you know, this spike over here as well. And, you know, you could count all this down as corrective. You know, you can look at that as an A and a B and a C, and this maybe an impulse wave here, an impulse wave here. So there's a little impulse wave here, another little impulse wave here. So there's parts of it I can understand, but there's parts of it that I don't understand. And even counting this up through here would also be, you know, it could go up in 3 waves or it could go up in 5 waves. So we have to be really careful about things. So I'm going from the monthly to the daily now, just to tune in on this move down through here. And so I haven't seen this for ages, but I've obviously done some work on it for somebody at some point in time. I know Jason, I did some, maybe also Susan as well. The thing here now is I haven't counted this up there. I can look at that as wave 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So the 3rd wave, the 4th wave, and I can't see inside of that just yet. So there's something. Maybe there's something else I'm missing here. So, or maybe that's 1 and 2, and then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the top of the third wave, but not that 3rd wave. So, but either way, so if that's the case, then this is likely to come back into here somewhere as a wave 4-ish sort of thing. Will it give us that? Well, it'll be like that to get the top of the 3rd. That will probably be the 3rd. I know Jason gave me a chart here, which is good. So, can expand that up a little bit. So also I want to just say again as well, when folks send me charts, I know that you might sort of you might be on, say, a computer or laptop or whatever, and you're taking the full screen size of your screen, and then you're posting the chart to me or somebody else. That's not the way to do it. Say, if this was, let's just say this outline here was your screen, okay? Then when you send somebody a chart, you don't send them the big screen size of it because it's very difficult to see. What you do is you reduce the chart and make it about 1/3 of the size, right? And then take a screenshot of it, then capture it, because if you capture it smaller on your screen, then when you go to show other folks, it will display in a much bigger way at that point. So what do you got here? So yeah, that's all pretty good. Well, that wave 3 up there I know you still got it to there, haven't you? So, okay, it doesn't matter too much at this point. I'll just come and check. But what I do want to say, if I had to go long here, not giving financial advice, is we need a bit of a setup here, don't we? We can see that the 5, we know 5 is the second strongest number, so it's likely that the market, well, it's likely that the market's going to gravitate here for a while, isn't it? So I'll just allow it to be. This looks like a bit of a top here, and it will probably come back, and it's probably a 4th wave, and then the 5th wave to go up there. That needs to be obviously wave 3. Yeah, so anyway, I'll figure that out a little bit. But I think what we can do is we can all just watch the trade setup accumulate here, unless we've made a complete mistake and we've got wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and just keep pumping up. But let's just see first. Let's just see. The next level up here is 650, so that's that top. That's, yeah, so anyway, let's just keep an eye on that. The Australian dollar, the currencies. So this has finally pushed through. We've been talking about creating, instead of having this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down to this point, we're looking at it as a 5-wave move down. So this has got further to come down through here for this now. So while this is moving down, then the US dollar index is moving up. So let's have a look at that. Let me go over here and into here and the DXY here. So we've seen the DXY push up. We were kind of expecting it, but we've also been talking about a different count as well. So here, if I count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then an extension in the 5th wave here, we're going to be pretty close to the old 4 wave high over here. So yeah, it can go a little bit further. It can go further to the upside, but the speed in which it moved to the upside, you would have to think we'd have to count this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and going up for a 3rd wave. So I guess the next level is 95. So if we get support on 95, that means that the count that we've got is wrong, and we would need to be looking at a bigger count, which would take us higher up into the 61.8% mark here. So I did talk yesterday, I talked about looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the 3rd wave, an ABC for the 4th wave here, and down for the 5th wave here, a bit of a truncated sort of 5th wave coming down into this point here, and then starting to look at all of that impulsively as such, and then up, in a nutshell, up for the A wave or up for wave 1. And yeah, and thanks Wayne for sending me across charts and sort of forcing me to look at the bonds and so on. Once again, when people copy their chart, if they can make them smaller on the screen, then they'll come up sort of bigger here, because it's difficult to see in here a lot. But thank you very much. But what I'll do is, we haven't looked at the 10 years for a while, the yields here. So let's just squash all this back. This is a daily chart, and I haven't updated it for a while. So the last time I looked at this, we were like coming down in here somewhere, looking for a move, trying to count 5 waves in here, I think. So obviously the market's turned and moved up, so we can put that wave C in there of wave B. Now this move down through here, the thing that makes me think that we're going to go, up into the 2s up here and higher, by the way, right, and higher, is because this move down through here is in 3 waves. It's corrective. So that tells me that we should be taking out that top. I can't actually remember from that wave 4 up there. I'll have to do some work in the bigger picture for this. Let me just go back and have a look at the monthly chart here. I did do some work on it. Right, okay. So this is the 80s, when the interest rates went quite high. I mean, have I got this wrong in any way or whatsoever? I mean, I was looking for this move up through here. I was looking for this wave 4 here to come back up to that wave 4. But I need to double check all of this. I mean, if we've got that wave 5 in here, then that produces a slightly different scenario. So anyway, I'll go back and do some work on that. But basically, it's all going pretty much according to our original count, which is nice to get a few things right now and again. Makes it all sort of gives you a bit of self-worth. And that means that the other side to this is is these guys. So we've looked at, I haven't updated this for ages as well, but in a nutshell, we've just been waiting for this to have an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up through here. I'll need to check all of this again. But as far as I could say is that, I mean, it does look like a corrective pattern here, doesn't it? So If we got onto the 150 again, then this would be positive, but otherwise we'll see the 20 years move lower at that point. But it does look bullish corrective in that space there. But let's give it a little bit of time, and I'll sort of spend a bit of time on this. I'll see what I've done back up here. I've done a little bit of work. It's a bit messy in here, but certainly bouncing around in our right spaces and so on. Let's just check this. I mean, really, I should be taking it from, but still, that's given it a lot of space there. If I took it from there, we've already moved as a wave 4. If I looked at that as 1 and 2 here, for instance, and wave 3 up here with an A and a B and a C here, we're already down at the 50%, and we'll probably end up moving lower here if the US dollar's moving up. So that means that we'll be down at the 61.8%. So I wonder what that will look like at that point. So it'll be at that point, so it'll be even lower actually. So that means that, let's just fill these dots in so we've got a bit of an idea here. Back down into that space. I mean, the thing here could be that we could end up with a situation like this here. That's what I'm thinking as well. Do you know what I mean? Like an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave there for that. I don't know yet. I'll have to give that some thought and just check on the other dudes, the other markets. But anyway, we need to tune in. I mean, maybe even that's the top there at that point. Yeah, I don't know. A bit messy. Anyway, just coming back to the dollar for a moment. In a bit of a nutshell, if the 95 becomes the support, then we'll need to call this wave 5 low in on this one here, because currently we've been looking at wave 4 over here, and that's okay to a point because we've got wave 4 over here, to there. So it's not really out of whack, but getting support on that 95, that's definitely going to have to put that low in place at that point. And then we need to re-look at this here, because we probably need to look at all of this as wave 1 to the upside and wave 2, and then wave 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4 and 5, looking for a bigger picture to the upside, up closer to the 98. But I suppose if we brought the commodities count into it as well, if I'm thinking of copper, for example, I can see that it's got a fair bit of time to go. So this can climb much higher and push those commodities down before anybody steps in, I guess. I mean, obviously the Feds want to cool the property market down in the US as well. It's a little bit sort of, it's a bit up there as well, I mean, not as much as China. I mean, even in Australia, I mean, the little town that I live in the mountains, the Blue Mountains, the prices are going up $2,500 a week for the houses, so it's quite a lot. But the US and Singapore and China is going up like 3 or 4-fold that amount, Okay, that's that. Okay, I'll leave it at that then for everything. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.